Also see how critically important parent and community support is to our students' success. Support your public schools. Get involved. Form a business school partnership or become a school volunteer. Great schools and great communities work hand in hand.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions.
If you came across someone struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them?
By their clothes,
their age,
the way they speak.
Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungerInAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America, 200 Food Banks Strong, and the Ad Council.
Get it, slip it, cuff it, check it. Talk to doctor now and share it.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it twice a day.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it in the morning and before dinner.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it, and share it with my doctor. Nearly 1 in 2 U.S. adults have high blood pressure. That's why it's important to self-monitor your blood pressure in 4 easy-to-remember steps. It starts with a monitor.
Now that I know my blood pressure numbers, I talked with my doctor. We're getting those numbers down.
Get it, slip it, cuff it, check it. Talk to doctor now and share it.
Be next to talk to your doctor about your blood pressure numbers. Get down with your blood pressure. Self-monitoring is power. Learn more at manageyourbp.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, the American Heart Association, and the American Medical Association, in partnership with the Office of Minority Health and Health Resources and Services Administration.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
1 in 3 adults has prediabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your football buddy, your football buddy, or you, your best man, your worst man, you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. That's doihaveprediabetes.org.
Wait, did they just say 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes? That's 33.33333% of adults. That means it could be me, my boss, or my boss's boss, or me, my favorite sister, or my other sister. That's 7 members of my 21-person romantic book club. Wait, the 1 in 3 could be me, my karaoke partner Carol, or my karaoke enemy Jeff. I'm going to take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Mario fue pintor más de 30 años. Cuando me dijo que se le estaban olvidando las cosas, fue difícil. Un día me dijeron que pintara el marco del lado por dentro y pinté el lado de afuera.
Yo le diría a la gente que le diga a su familia lo que está pasando con él.
Si algo se nota diferente, podría ser Alzheimer. Es momento de hablarlo. Visita alz.org/nuestras historias para saber más. Un mensaje de the Alzheimer's Association y the Ad Council.
At Fairway Meat Market, you're family. And as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Fairway has fresh cut meats, seafood, cheese, wine and spirits, and a friendly staff that's always ready to help find what you need. Stop by Fairway Meat Market today to plan your weekly meals. Located in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
If you came across someone struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them? By their clothes, their age, the way they speak? Would you notice a 16-year-old boy who got his first job,
not for extra spending money, but to help feed his little sisters?
Or a mother who's in between jobs
and sometimes goes to bed hungry so her kids can have dinner?
Or a 14-year-old girl who signs up to every after-school activity, not to make friends, but just to get something to eat? Or a retiree who fell ill and had to choose
between getting medicine or groceries.
I am the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger. People you pass by every day but never knew were hungry. I am Hunger in America.
Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungerInAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America, 200 Food Banks Strong, and the Ad Council.
Serve Nebraska believes that volunteers are part of what makes Nebraska great. Each year, the Step Forward Awards honors volunteers from across the state who serve their communities in outstanding ways. We hope you'll join us this year at the Step Forward Awards luncheon on October 27th in Omaha. Help us thank volunteers with a celebration to remember. To register, visit serve.nebraska.gov and click Register Now. We hope to see you there. Paid for by Serve Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe. Welcome into Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Now here are your hosts, Jeff and Nicole Essig.
All right, welcome in to the Fitness Fanatics. It is a cold, chilly Sunday morning on January 14th.
I thought you were doing reenacting planes, trains, and automobiles. You were kind of stuck in your coat there.
Yeah, I was thinking about it.
Yeah. Okay. No crashing.
Trying to get my headphones on with no hands, but we got them. We're good.
Okay,
all right.
Go ahead.
Well, it is a cold morning. I looked at my Verizon phone last night and saw a temperature of minus 23, and I was trying to figure if I've ever seen that before.
I don't think so.
Oh, I'm sure you have.
I don't think it's been
actual temperature.
This is the coldest temperature it's been since when, like 1970 something in Lincoln.
Yeah, maybe.
That was before I was born. So
yeah,
I guess. We'll yeah. Where'd you grow up again?
Iowa,
but same Jeff. But in Nebraska, we looked it up in Nebraska. That's Lincoln.
Lincoln was what, minus 33 in 1974,
something like that.
Hey.
Actual temperature.
Just quick programming note.
Okay.
Shout out to Rebecca and Cam and Eric. Everyone's working hard this morning. We're back on Allo, channel 961. For anyone who want. Oh wait, this isn't old one.
It. This is like last week's or
just
something.
We're in the same sweatshirt.
We're wearing different clothes.
Okay, so
what do we got?
Scratch that. We got a repeat on Fitness Fanatics. But if you guys want to watch the show, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, as with the severe weather comes some technical difficulties as well. So if you want to continue to watch, great way to put a face to the voice. Starter Heyman text line still working, 402-464-5685.
We already got a text. Crowbait's curled up, bundled up on his couch, wrapped up, blankets,
ready to
listening.
Listen.
So we're glad you're listening. So we got a great show today. Today is, well, when our guest gets here, it's going to be all nutrition. We have Matt Dow from Nutrition Authority coming in at 9:30. We talked about nutrition, a month or so ago, but now we're bringing in the expert. So we're here in, I'm just kidding. We're here in January. It's January 14th. Most of us have probably already screwed up our New Year's resolutions as we're 2 weeks into it.
2 days ago was Quitter's Day.
Quitter's Day on January 12th.
Yep. That's statistically when people give up on their New Year's resolutions.
Well, if you've already quit your New Year's resolution at your gym, you can think about joining Farrell's. We just got done with week 1 of our 10-week challenge. An interesting week 1 with the weather. We were open on Friday morning. We had all of our Friday morning classes.
Good for them.
As we ventured out. I think we had like at Yankee Ridge, we had like 14 people at 4 a.m., which was pretty crazy. But we ended up closing our nighttime classes. So we didn't have anything in the evening just because.
Which I'm kind of annoyed that it wasn't as bad as they said it was going to be at night. I thought it was going to be a lot windier. But every time I looked outside, it looked the same.
But that's okay. We stayed home.
Better safe than sorry.
And enjoyed the evening off. We do have the virtual option, so a lot of people did that.
Yes.
So it was just good. We were open all day yesterday. Yesterday, I was driving to the gym. I was taking my son's car because we had to park in the driveway. And as I was driving to the gym, his tire fell off the rim. So that was nice. I did make it to the gym. And so the car is now currently sitting in the parking lot. It was supposed to get towed yesterday and it did not. So I need to do a little investigating when we get out of the show. I mean, the place we were going to have it to go to they weren't open anyway. So it's not a huge deal. But so that's what we have to deal with here a little later. I'm just glad that I was driving the car when this happened and not Ben or you.
Yeah.
Because if you would have been driving, I probably would have got a phone call.
No, I
Hey,
would have.
I'm stuck.
I think that people who know us know that I am much better at handling emergencies than you are. So I'm actually surprised you didn't just leave the car stranded in the middle of the street and be like, there's nothing I can do.
I wasn't going to do that.
Luckily, you were really close to the gym when it happened.
I would have made it anyway.
But I don't
Ben's
know.
going to have to pay for it. So if it needs a new rim, it doesn't really matter to me. But it's still sitting there. So we'll have to figure out, see what's going on. But again, I told him yesterday, it's not an emergency, but he doesn't have school till Tuesday and he doesn't work till Tuesday. So we'll see. But he needs to get some new tires. And
Life's an adventure.
So that's all that's wrong with the car? Just need new tires?
Well, probably.
So Harrison was working while you were talking. He was driving and the tire basically just came off completely off the rim. Like
so it's just sitting on the rim.
Yeah.
One tire.
Like flat tire, something happened and it was just
popped off the rim.
I don't know if it was because of the cold. If it was
Does he stay on top of that normally?
Well, he's only had the car for like 6 months and we've thought maybe we should get new tires, but it wasn't anything that we thought was like an emergency.
We didn't know the tire was going to fall off the rim. But I was interesting.
Well, it had been pretty low is what I'm thinking.
It looked a little bit low. I remember thinking it looked low, but nothing that was like a big deal. So we didn't.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, and I was driving down South 40th and I just started kind of a little bumping, and I was just thought Friday when I was driving to the gym in my car, it was like that, but it was just kind of the snow was uneven. So it's kind of like, I didn't really think anything of it. But then when I was turning into the Target parking lot, I smelled some rubber. So I'm like,
who knows how long you were driving on
something's going on, but I'm just like, I'm getting to a parking spot. And
at that point,
it was like like a block
right there.
I was in a parking lot. So, but yeah, I got parked. I opened the door, looked down, and the tire's off the rim. So I'm just kind of sitting there right now. But other than that, we didn't really have any too drastic adventures. Harrison, anything for you? Anything for you? Stories of the cold, snow?
No, my dog. I just feel bad for my dog. Miserable wiener dog is really struggling to fight through the elements right now. So,
I was kind of annoyed Friday night. I was out shoveling. We kind of took turns shoveling and I did the last round of shoveling. I was out there for like an hour, which I like shoveling, so I don't mind. But there was the dog barking the entire time, which means someone just had their dog outside for a full hour plus because it was probably barking before and after. That was kind of annoying. I kind of wanted to track those people down.
Depends what dog it is. I mean, if it's a husky.
That's true.
Yeah.
But also, it was barking a lot.
Yeah, barking for an hour. If your dog's going to bark, I don't want him to bark.
Having a good time.
Being out in the cold, barking, that's annoying.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
No, I just feel like I was probably trying to tell somebody something. I don't know.
Yeah, like I'm cold.
Yeah.
Let me in. My feet are frozen. Just out shoveling on Friday morning, I had gloves on and my fingers were I could barely feel them when we were done. And we were out there like 30 minutes.
So let your dogs in.
I will say this is my place I live at. Like, chill out on the salt when it's this cold.
Well, that's true. It doesn't do anything.
It's not doing anything.
Yeah.
There's certain spots. It looks like they put a cow block out there, like a giant salt block. I'm like, what are you?
It's not doing anything. It's too cold.
Yeah, just wait a little bit, relax, and when it gets warm, now we have this massive block of ice melt. It's just gonna destroy the concrete
and be dirty.
Yeah.
It's weird because this is Nebraska. It snows. We get this almost every single year, and I don't really freak out about it. Some people are like, oh, I
freak out a little bit.
I can't.
Cold freaking people
can't
out.
drive. Well, there's our guest walking by.
Okay.
No gloves. His coat's unzipped.
My coat was
he's
unzipped.
Big time.
It's not comfortable sitting in a car with a zipped up coat.
I know. It's still bundling up. Yeah. But you just take your time. If you don't have anywhere to go today, just stay home.
Or come to the mill. Get a warm cup of coffee.
We got coffee.
Well, and I've taken one sip. I'm a little gun shy on drinking hot coffee because I burnt my tongue really bad a long time ago. Like really bad. I just and so now I'm like,
let's tell the honest truth. The truth is it was hot chocolate and you drank it with a straw. So you like jetted it right into your whole mouth.
tongue burned. It was just,
like you'd never drank hot chocolate before in your life. So
and I think I microwaved it.
Milk or water?
So now I'm gun shy.
probably water. It was when we had corporate jobs. So it was like our corporate job.
When we had real jobs where we actually went and worked for 8 hours.
I think our job is more real now than it was back then, but
yeah, business owners.
Yes.
Yeah. Do it or you're out of business.
That was like a decade ago. I think your tongue has
I don't know. It's
recovered.
It can handle some hot things, but I'm still just a little like, I just gotta. So I haven't really drank any of this.
When we order coffee, we normally get it kids temp.
Yes, then I can drink it right away.
Or you can say heated to 140, which sounds a lot less wimpy than kids temp. But kids temp, you can drink it right away, and I just drink it real fast. It's fine.
Or
now. Mine's fine.
If we're staying somewhere and we're making like out of a coffee pot, I'll just put ice in it.
You're the person that would have sued McDonald's for it being hot.
Do you know about that story though?
Yes.
Okay, so it was more than just suing them for hot coffee. She got severe third degree burns. The coffee should never have been that hot. Like that was not consumable coffee.
Oh, maybe I don't know the full
Yeah,
details.
you should look into it. No, it
was like boiling coffee.
Severe burns.
I probably wouldn't
Third
have been
degree
that smart to
skin
sue
grafts.
McDonald's.
Like her sweatpants fused to her skin. Like it was
Whoa.
very severe. It was and all she wanted was to have her medical bills covered, and McDonald's refused to do anything, and that's why it escalated to where it did. So
Okay, well now I feel better about
fun
it.
fact
Yeah,
for
I didn't know the insides of that.
I'm not
story.
going to
I
feel
just
bad
The-
for McDonald's.
the
either. They
McDonald's
got
hot
enough money.
coffee.
whatever their settlement was,
Drama.
that was like me reaching in my pocket for
She
some
just
change.
wanted her medical bills covered, and then I don't even know, but it was like not consumable. It was so hot.
What else we got?
Fun fact for the day. I thought you were going to talk about your spoon drama last night.
Okay, so you guys might think this is petty. I have
got a lot of avenues this can go.
Here we go.
I'm going to try to stay as quiet as possible because if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it.
I threw a fit last night.
A big one.
Like I was probably like a 5-year-old.
It was embarrassing.
And I'm sure some of you can relate to this, but I have a couple spoons that I really like.
I think we all do, right? We all have silverware we prefer.
And we have stuff that's our favorites. Like these are my favorite
Let's be honest, it's your ice cream spoon.
Ice cream and cereal.
Okay.
It's
just
just
probably
like
the only thing you use spoons
just
for.
the length of the spoon, the width of the spoon itself, like it just fits my mouth perfectly, right? I mean, it's and we've had these for a long time, and everybody in the house knows.
And our silverware drawer is like a mixed match of silverwares. It's very eclectic.
Well, we have different size spoons, different shapes, things like that. And I just really, it's my favorite, so if you have something that's your favorite, it doesn't matter what it is, and it comes up missing, you're going to be, hey, where is this? Right.
Yes, but most people don't make it every other person in the house's problem also.
Well, the kids didn't really care. Nobody wanted to help me look for these
That
spoons.
is an absolute lie.
They looked.
I
Your daughter
helped you.
What did I say?
You said nobody.
No, I said the kids.
You said the kids didn't care. Nobody wanted to help me find the spoon.
Well, we'll have to check.
You don't have to. That's exactly what you said.
That. But
that's exactly
here's the thing.
what
Here's
you
the
said.
thing. 2 spoons I have, the exact same spoon, and they're both missing from the kitchen. Like, where do these things go? If you're out there, how does these things just disappear?
I don't know, but I'm going to tell you right now.
Out of the house.
I helped you until I couldn't even be in the same room with you. And
Yes.
I would rather starve than use those spoons.
And here's
I
the thing.
hate those spoons so much. I would eat cereal with
so
a
much.
butter knife before I used your spoons because I hate that.
A butter knife.
Everything you love about it, I hate about those spoons. Actually, and I know they were in the dishwasher, at least one, earlier this week because I was looking for one and I literally like touched it and was like,
Okay.
gross.
So that was
trying
this
to
week?
grab it. A different spoon.
It was this
And-
week.
Yeah, so I don't know.
So So my spoon was in the kitchen.
I'm
this
not trying
week,
to solve the
and it
case,
disappears. Not one, but two of them.
Yeah, but you were
Like they're
unhinged
not. It's
about
not
it.
in the sink. And then this is funny because when we have ice cream, like as bad as
Once a week,
as
our
bad
weekly ice
as
cream.
Nicole makes me out to sound.
No, you were embarrassing.
I get her ice cream, scoop it out.
I almost didn't want to eat it
and
because I was worried that your energy you were bringing was going to transfer into the ice cream and I was going to be infected.
I bring it to her like she's a queen, right? She doesn't have to get up
I
off the
helped you.
couch.
I tried to help you.
So then I was like, I'm not getting anybody their ice cream until I find these spoons. And you know what? Nobody could even go scoop their own ice cream. Like, I'm just not going to eat it.
I just wouldn't have eaten it. Yes, that is exactly true.
Like,
I
nobody
was
could
fine
get off
either way, honestly.
They could do their own. I have to get it.
I wasn't that committed to the ice cream.
So
It's
I
okay.
looked and we never found it. They're
No,
just gone.
We haven't found them.
Not in the dishwasher, not in the sink, not in
But
they're
your
just gone.
reaction was a little dramatic about it.
Now
You brought down the whole energy of the house for about 25 minutes.
And see, like
everyone was afraid to talk.
I feel like when you lose something that's your favorite, like you're allowed to be upset about
But
this.
okay, I'm sorry, but if it's your favorite, then maybe if it's that important to you, you should have a special spot for it, which I almost think that maybe you put it somewhere special so you wouldn't be able to find it.
didn't.
And you've since forgotten about it. We're going to
No.
find it in some unhinged place and you're going to be like, oh, that's right. I did put that there.
I don't know if I am or not. My memory's pretty sharp.
But no, it's not. It was, listen, I am the same way about silverware, but if I couldn't find what I wanted, I would have internalized it a lot more than you did.
I don't
is all I'm saying.
I don't internalize stuff
No,
very
you
well.
don't at all. It was
It's
very
like,
uncomfortable in our house over a spoon.
There's people out there in this world that have like real problems. Like
I know
they can't afford to
We
pay
all
their
have real
heating
problems,
bill.
too.
They're cold, and then when the direct TV goes out, or last night we were watching the Chiefs game. Nicole's already in bed. It was like third down, and the Peacock starts doing the little circle. And then it goes black. It's like, oh, they're probably going to score a touchdown. So we just missed the play because the little thing was just kind of
First world problems at its finest.
right?
Missing spoon is that.
Yes.
That's a new one. I've never met anyone. That's unique. I'll say that.
He also said, we are totally going to talk about this on the show tomorrow.
Yeah, see, I wanted to bring it up. So if anybody has
That's why I brought it up.
I really hope Ben stole it.
I don't know.
I don't know what Ben uses spoons for. He doesn't really consume food that uses
Just out
a
of spite.
spoon.
I don't think anyone's stealing the spoon, other than it'd be funny to see what Jeff would do.
I think
somebody
might.
Jeff's reaction was not a surprise to anyone in our house.
Was Ben smiling a lot when you were
They
going through
were
your tantrum?
very unaffected. The kids
See,
were.
they didn't care.
Which means it's a common reaction, and that's how they deal with it.
So now I have to live life without these spoons, and I don't even know where I can get one.
They'll
that's
turn
the
up
same.
someday, and then it'll be like a glorious reunion. And I don't even know where we got them from. They're really
The Dollar Tree
crappy
spoons, I think.
spoons. I don't know. They're not that great quality.
You just get attached to something.
There's so much about
You
that.
guys have really thrown me for a loop.
Like a
with the
teddy
silverware.
bear, when you're a kid.
Just wait till you get older. I probably didn't care about spoons when I was your age either, so don't even worry about it. But in our house, we have a lot of spoons that are really kind of crappy because when Jeff does the dishes, he'll run the disposal and not check. So there's some that have really sharp edges. You gotta stay away from those depending on what you're eating.
Why
So
did you just toss those ones in the trash?
no, because
That's probably where mine ended up. I'm sure somebody threw mine out.
I mean, if I got a sharp
It's
spoon, I
very-
don't really want that.
I know it depends on what you're eating, but it's very it's possible that Ben was eating ice cream.
And you know what? He just went and threw the container
He
out
might
in the trash
because
with
he
my
usually
spoon in
eats
it.
it out of the container. He waits until there's like one serving left, and then he'll eat it out of the container.
Everybody's getting an inside look into our house on
I
our
know.
free day. We don't do
We
this on
only
an
have ice
everyday
cream once a
occurrence.
week,
It's
for
not like
sure.
Monday,
Hey,
Tuesday.
We
or
only
every
buy
day.
it once a week.
Yeah, so this is our free day stuff that when we're doing
So
this.
it's possible that's
it's,
what happened.
It's probable, I'm sure.
And Ben takes it right out to the
you know
garbage.
what? You know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, on Monday or Tuesday after you'd went, I think it was Monday night.
Because he hadn't eaten his
I was
the
gonna,
ice cream
I
yet.
was gonna sneak some in. Like, it's a confession.
Right?
It was the championship game. I thought, it's fine. So I scoop the rest out in a bowl, and your son walks out.
Okay.
And he's like, "Oh, I was just going to come get this."
Did you give it to him?
I did.
Okay, good job.
So I think Ben was the last one to use my spoon.
Did you already have the spoon in the bowl?
I did, yeah. So I don't know what happened.
That's probably where it went.
The investigation.
Yeah, but he wouldn't have thrown that away because it was already in a bowl.
Maybe he. I don't know. No, never know with teenage boys,
That's
right?
a good point. I mean, I'm sure at one point in time I had some bowls underneath my bed for whatever reason.
I know. We need to go.
I had an ant farm one time in my bedroom because I had this thing of chocolates that I got for Easter, and it's just like
do it.
Our Valentine's Day, and it just sat. I put it on top of my dresser.
And forgot about
and I was
it.
16, and every now and then I see an ant on the wall, and I was like, "Well, this is strange." I just kill the ant, and then I had to clean my room, so I opened this box, and I literally think the queen ant was in the box, and it was just a swarming. So now I'm like, whenever the kids, I'm like, we're gonna get ants. Like I always,
yes, you do.
Think back to
You're
when
very
I
paranoid
had an
about
ant
ants.
farm in the box of candy that was on my top of my dresser for months.
I don't know, but if anyone else can relate to the spoon saga of 2024,
Yeah, let us know. 402-464-5685. We did get a text, actually health and wellness related.
Good, because that's what's coming up next. I promise. Matt's already here. He'll be coming in.
So from Nyla said, I
momentarily.
started one of my resolutions this year, and that's to eat better. And I'm down 6 pounds since the start of January 1st.
That's awesome.
That
That's
is
a
an
great
awesome
start.
victory.
Yep.
Such a great start. Nutrition.
Such a great start.
That's the hardest part for me.
Yes. So we need to keep it consistent. So we're going to go to break. We'll be right back, and we'll actually talk some health and wellness on
for
the
real
show
this time.
with Matt Dow of Nutrition Authority. So stay with us. 93.7 The Ticket.
Husker fans, your Nebraska wrestling team needs you at the Bob Devaney Sports Center for a Big Ten matchup on Sunday, January 21st against the Purdue Boilermakers. The duel will begin at 1 p.m., and the first 200 fans will receive a Nebraska wrestling blanket. For more information or to secure your tickets, visit huskers.com/tickets or call 402-472-3111.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
Dance like a dad. It's a great way to make a moment with your kids. First, I hold my hands out like they're on a steering wheel. Then I look over my shoulder. Next, I put it in reverse. Beep, beep, beep. Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those round trips, which are perfect on your way there and perfect on your way back? Or those meetings with friends, surprise parties, camps, birthdays. The same way you plan for the important moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Get started at ready.gov/plan.
Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
If you can plan barbecues and weddings, you can plan to protect yourself from a natural disaster. Sign up for local alerts, prepare an emergency kit, and make a family communications plan. Get started at ready.gov/plan.
Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
If you came across someone struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them?
By their clothes,
their age,
the way they speak. Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungerInAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America, 200 Food Bank Strong, and the Ad Council.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions.
Serve Nebraska believes that volunteers are part of what makes Nebraska great. Each year, the Step Forward Awards honors volunteers from across the state who serve their communities in outstanding ways. We hope you'll join us this year at the Step Forward Awards luncheon on October 27th in Omaha. Help us thank volunteers with a celebration to remember. To register, visit serve.nebraska.gov and click Register Now. We hope to see you there. Paid for by Serve Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
On the Block with Strick and Austin.
If Ewers throws that ball to the front pylon, Texas might have tied that game up and had a chance to win it.
That moment right there, it's one of those moments that every young man dreams about. There's two outcomes in that moment. You're a gamer or you tense up.
You're a gamer or you're a goner.
Or you're a goner.
Weekdays from 2 to 4 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
I'm Chris Jakovic. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. So in 2017, I was serving as an Air Force First Sergeant. Our motto in that role is "My job is people, everyone is my business." But unfortunately in that year, I would lose my own brother, Lance Corporal Adam Jakovic, to suicide. The majority of veteran suicides are from guns. I store my weapons securely, not only for myself, but for my family. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide. My service never stops.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
1 in 3 adults has prediabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your football buddy, your football buddy, or you, your best man, your worst man, you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. That's doihaveprediabetes.org.
Wait, did they just say 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes? That's 33.33333% of adults. That means it could be me, my boss, or my boss's boss, or me, my favorite sister, or my other sister. That's 7 members of my 21-person romantic book club. Wait, the 1 in 3 could be me, my karaoke partner Carol, or my karaoke enemy Jeff. I'm going to take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those round trips, which are perfect on your way there and perfect on your way back? Or those meetings with friends, surprise parties, camps, birthdays. The same way you plan for the important moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Get started at ready.gov/plan.
Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Now back to Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into the Fitness Fanatics. It is January 14th, and it is like minus 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 degrees outside, whatever it is. It is cold, but we're nice and warm in the studios. And we are joined by Matt Dow of Nutrition Authority. He's here to talk all things nutrition with us for the next 90 minutes. But before we kind of dive into that, I just want to have our audience kind of get to know you. Where'd you went to school? Were you active in any sports growing up? And then what got you into what you're doing today?
Okay. Well, second time on the show.
Yes. Second time.
I can't remember how long ago.
Oh, it's been like a long
You
time.
were one of our first guests, probably
Yes.
like third show, maybe.
Yeah.
Second
So
or third
April
show.
of 2022.
Gosh.
Last time. So it's a long time. So
totally.
we're up to probably a couple million listeners. Where our first couple shows, we're at like 10.
Yeah.
So
We also had a double feature, so you weren't even on the show for very long the last time.
yeah,
So
we
you'll
had
be on longer
'cause
this
we had-
time.
and Crystal.
Crystal came in.
Mark was here too.
Mark was our producer, so yeah, he was.
That was when
Yep.
we were like, didn't know what we were doing. Like,
now we're
let's
professionals.
have 2 guests on and then only talk to them for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
That didn't work over.
So now we have you back. We can dive a little bit more into everything that
Yes.
you're pro on. So yeah, go. All things you.
Yeah, cool. Matt Dow here. Yeah, I got into fitness really probably freshman year in college, kind of where it took over and kind of jumped full-fledged into the business side of things. We were a Max Muscle franchise for 15 years, and we went from 1 store to 4 stores in a pretty short amount of time. And then we've since consolidated to the 2 stores in Lincoln, and there's a couple. Well, none of us are really Max Muscle franchises anymore. We've kind of outgrown the franchise system, so we go by Nutrition Authority now for the last 4 or 5 years. We have 2 stores in Lincoln.
We still call you Max Muscle.
I know.
It's hard.
We built up that brand for so long that it's.
And we went to Max Muscle in Iowa too, and they've since rebranded also.
Yeah,
but
Joey up there.
Yeah, yep. So it's just in us. We try.
Yeah,
we're not good. We're not good with change.
I know.
So. Me neither. It was tricky, but I still
Right.
get like this time of year with the New Year's resolutions kick. You might get people that haven't been in the store for like 6-8 years, and
They're
they come
not
in
sure
and they're
if
like,
it's the
"What
same."
is going on?"
Yeah.
So
it's the same.
Yeah,
It's still Max
all the
Muscle,
same,
still
locally
Nutrition Authority.
owned, all us, that sort of stuff.
Yes.
But obviously, we have the full spectrum nutrition supplements, protein powders, vitamins, minerals, weight loss, fat loss, men's health, things like that. But a big chunk of what we do is obviously customized meal planning, nutrition programming. We have the InBody machine in the store that we utilize for regular customers, but we kind of build it into all of our programming with nutrition and weekly check-ins and accountability and that sort of stuff and tracking all that stuff. So it's become, I've been doing it now for, I think in April it will be probably 20 years since I've been doing this at the ripe age of 37 for me.
Yeah.
So it's weird that it's become, I mean, I've pretty much been doing what I'm doing, half of my life.
And that was probably not your intention when you started.
No, it was kind of
us with
fun
Farrell's,
and then you go full-fledged into the business side of things and it's weird, but it is. I'm pretty synonymous with it. But I mean, generally from a fitness and workout standpoint, I mean, it's my life. I couldn't go a morning without working out, and I've transitioned a lot of my fitness over the years as well too. But kind of eat, sleep, and breathe it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So
So where'd you go to school?
Oh, go
Sorry.
ahead.
Yeah.
So went to Lincoln East here, and then the university here.
What'd you go to college for?
So I actually started with computer engineering,
Okay.
which was a terrible decision. I remember my last math class before I transitioned into nutrition was it was like a differential equations. It was like 5 pages, and it was like a sentence, and then like a full 8.5 by 11 for your work.
I don't like that.
And I was like, I can't do this. So jumped full-fledged into the kind of nutrition side of things as well too. And it's cool because even for my other employees as well, we've always kind of partnered. There's a couple companies out there, Nesta, Nutrition Exercise Works, things like that they do like customized meal planning as well too. So all my guys that work for me, all certified, educated. Lexi, educated in nutrition as well too. She's working on some other certifications as well too while she's going to school. But yeah, so full-fledged into the business side of things. We had the Omaha stores for a while when they were Max Muscle franchises, and that became just there were some ownership issues up there, so we came in to kind of manage them for a while to keep them from going under, and then it's kind of a weird deal, and it was just we were spread way too thin at the time. There's a lot of young guys in the picture, and it was really tough. So just have since it's myself and then Chad Case, who's partner / boss. It's just him and I, and then we have we've kind of rotated. I mean, we don't have a lot of turnover with employees over the years. I had a gentleman run my North store for 8 years before he left. Lexi's been with me for over a year now, and then we've recently brought in actually Chad's son and Chad's nephew to help out over at the North store, Cedric and Caleb. So we run a pretty tight crew. Spencer's still involved as well too, but he just got hired on a Beatrice fire. So
cool.
So he's going to do a little bit here and there, but he's been trying to get in the firefighting world for a while. So
That's
happy
what
for
I've
him.
always liked about you guys, and even in Iowa too, because a lot of other supplement stores, and honestly, I don't go to any other ones anymore, but my experience in Iowa, you could definitely tell there was a lot of turnover. You could definitely tell that people were just reading off spec sheets when they were trying to give you information about their stuff. But I've never felt that way in Iowa or here in Lincoln, going into one of your guys' stores, which I really like.
I think the turnover at those other stores, and then I think the way that GNC had built up the business model for years, as far as spiffs and commissions and all that sort of stuff, and what we really focus on is we want a customer. I mean, our bounce back rate is well over 90%. Where somebody comes in the store, like over 9 times out of 10, they're coming back in the store. So I mean, that's our goal. Is we want to make customers for life and get people in here consistently. We could care less whether they get paid, or I get paid the same whether they come in and buy 1 product or 10 products. And it's really just keeping people on track and see results, and especially this time of year, trying to get people. We want people that are coming in January for the New Year's resolutions to hopefully still be shopping in June, July, August, and really seeing results with it too.
That's another thing that I really like. This is what I always tell people when I encourage them to come see you, because of the experiences I've had in other places, is that your products are so consistent. And I know just from talking to you that you guys do a lot of research before you bring products into the store. So it's not just like, Kind of like you're not ordering off of like a wholesale website and just kind of ordering what's available, bringing it in, and then you might not find it the next time you go there. So I think, which you have done that to me before on pre-workout, but
Well, it wasn't my fault.
I know.
They
but
discontinued
I
it.
know.
I still carry the brand.
I know. And I know that because why do I know that? Because I have a rapport with you and we can come in and talk about it. And so I can still be disappointed about it.
As well, too.
Yeah, I know. I'm a little picky. I'm actually not. I just don't like one specific flavor.
That's fair.
But
the,
I appreciate that about you guys, though. The consistency when you come in, kind of going off of our spoon conversation from the first segment, people resist change. So it's hard sometimes when you can't find, you get something, you really like it and you integrate it into your routine. And then the next time you go, they just don't carry it anymore. And it's just, they don't really have a reason. With you, there's a reason. You're able to explain it and
people are
find a comparable
we found out very much during COVID that people are very much creatures of habits, especially with flavors and that sort of stuff, where a lot of companies are having to consolidate from 10 flavors to 5 or 6 flavors. And it was very tricky.
Well, and this is how much
appreciate.
we've been having the Max Pro protein for 15 years. And we like the Max Pro protein so much that Farrell's has a protein that we don't even order.
I do. I like the one flavor of the Farrell's protein.
But like we still,
the macros are very similar.
Yeah.
There's not a quality issue. I do really like the cinnamon roll flavor of the Farrell's protein, but we use Vanilla Max Pro all the time.
Yes,
I
for
use
15 years.
I use the cinnamon roll one occasionally, mostly to put in my yogurt or my
oatmeal.
But Max Pro is our favorite. But you have other ones too. Fusion 30, which I know a lot of people like. But
just updated flavor profile, very similar to the Max Pro.
It's a little too sweet for me.
It's some people this day and age, if they're getting into new protein shakes, they want something a little bit sweeter, creamier. So the Fusion 30 has been good for that. But some people, the Max Pro is bad flavoring. It's just a little bit more mild, lighter flavor.
Yes.
Which is smooth and easy. But some people want a little bit more in your face flavor.
Yeah. Yep.
So what was it about nutrition that kind of like for your passion for it? Like, did something happen? Were you like out of shape and you're just like, oh my gosh, I'm eating healthy. This is really what I want to dive into. Like, what was the drive behind that?
I think for me, I always worked out in high school, and then it was really in college where everything clicked. And I graduated high school at like 140, maybe 150 pounds. And my freshman, sophomore year in college, got into a little bit more powerlifting focus, but the goal was, to get big and strong and things like that. And next thing you know, I'm 225 pounds. And as you see the transformation with everything, you kind of, and I've since, 40 pounds off my high. I just enjoy being able to fit and gotten into cycling a lot as well too. And being able to be more functional with everything. But I think seeing the body transformation and then there's probably, even for myself, probably a little manorexia in there where like you always want to be better physique wise, performance wise, things like that. And it really stems, the training's obviously got to be constant, but it all stems with nutrition. That's the most important thing for sure.
And that's what our typically what we see is our members and most everybody struggles with nutrition.
Oh yeah.
We think working out is the easy part.
Yeah.
Like that's
showing up.
Especially when you've been working out for a long time, then it's easy to kind of let those nutrition goals get away from you, but then you don't realize how much you're sacrificing your performance because if you're not eating correctly. So you're leaving a lot on the table if you're only focusing on that exercise component.
Compound the gym for sure.
Right. When you go to the gym, you're working out. It's not like you're like, okay, I'm going to choose between this turkey sandwich or Runza.
Right.
Every single minute of our lives.
Well, yeah. And
we have food choices.
Yeah. With you guys, they go into workout and they know exactly what they need to do. They're told the whole time, but you can't hold their hand the next, 16 hours that they're up throughout the day.
So we don't have a lot of time before we go to break, but I do want to briefly touch on your health issues that you've had to kind of overcome, because I feel like for a lot of people, having gone through what you've gone through, that might have been a reason to kind of let go of those performance goals and stuff like that. So kind of briefly talk about kind of the health issues you went through, and then we'll go to break.
Yeah. So 11 years ago, got pretty ill, sick, in and out of the hospital for close to a month, 3-4 different times. Long story short, lost 65 pounds over that 4 weeks. Ended up having I had my colon and large intestine, the whole shebang, appendix, everything removed. It was a pretty long road coming out of that, both from recovering from surgery just to a different way of life with eating and performance and everything. And it was kind of a long road getting back, but I've been, I've had probably 4 other major surgeries associated with it. But I'm going on, July was like 4 years surgery free. So
what was the root cause of the issues? Did you guys ever know?
It was ulcerative colitis that came on pretty strong, pretty quick. They perforated my bowel, which led to emergency surgery, which irony, that could have killed me, but it probably actually saved my life because my colon, they act like would have burst within the next day or maybe not even made it that far. And they opened me up to fix the perforation of my bowel. And they had what they call megatoxic colon, where the colon was diseased beyond repair. And they made a split-second decision in surgery to remove it.
So you have an ostomy bag now?
I do have an ileostomy. So they're slightly different.
Okay. Yeah. I couldn't remember which one it was.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, most people would have no idea. I mean, you and I have talked quite a bit about the gravel worlds that I did this last year. And, that was being on a bike for 6+ hours and was quite the chore. But being able to do it, who would have thought, right?
Right. So, yeah. And we always tell people in our program, I have a little thing that I say about you are not special. Like the things that you worry about, that doesn't make you special. That makes you normal. I mean, you're kind of special in that scenario. Like not everybody has to deal with that, but you don't use that as a barrier to kind of see what you can do. Maybe there's a limit to what you can do, but you're not going to let that be the limit.
I think there's,
you're going to keep pushing till you find it. Yeah.
I think there's a balance with your life where you kind of feel like you get a second chance and don't want to waste it, make the most of it. And, if I'm not trying to push myself, what's kind of the point? So,
yeah. Just one of those things that like, you don't know what other people are going through.
Somebody's always got it worse than you too.
Yeah. Yep. So it's just an interesting kind of twist to your story.
And speaking of cycling, I can't tell you how much I love when I'm out running.
And Matt passes
All the
and
us.
time.
you just zoom by us.
Yeah.
Just coasting, just down a hill, and I'm just running down the hill. Hey.
I know I have taken it pretty seriously when I'm out there that like, and sometimes it's like last second, like,
I don't know how
there's Nicole.
Like you came up behind me one time. So I'm like, wow, I didn't even know that was me. So that was kind of funny, but I know.
Well, bike riding is no joke. Like I remember when I didn't do any exercise at all, I'd see people out running and I'd be like, those people are just morons, right? What are they doing out there? And then I'm like, I would much rather be on a bike. And then when I was running, I'd see the cyclists and I was like, oh, look, they just coast down the hills. But then when I got into cycling, it was like, I remember our first bike ride long time ago. We lived in Altoona. We biked out to Copper Creek and it was just like, it was so hard. Like, I'm like, I think I'd rather just be running right now. Like, I just remember it. It was just like, it was just nonstop. It's just all different. But yeah. And of course, when you first get on the bike, there's, your underside's a little dicey there. And
that has become a chore.
Yeah.
Especially with having a big surgery where I have like a large,
scar tissue
that's been down there. But
But no, so I could appreciate the cyclists out there.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yes.
I appreciate the runners because
cycling.
We give you the entertainment of like sucker as you're going by. No, you might be on like a 70-mile bike ride. So it's, you're still
we're putting in our time.
Yes.
All right.
Let's we'll be right back. We'll be right back with Matt Dow from Nutrition Authority. Stay with us on 93.7 The Ticket.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
Old School with DP and J.
DPGM. What are you going to do to Caleb Williams? What are you going to do? You going to draft him?
No.
You're not going to draft him?
No, I don't. Here's my thing. I don't want anybody going. I'm not going to bring poison into my program because that's what it would be. He's letting you know he's poison. He's venom. Why would I put poison in my own soup?
Maybe you think you're a mongoose. You can't. I have zero. You're a mongoose. You can take the Cobra venom.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
I see the future in our public school classrooms every day. I'm Jenny Benson, president of the Nebraska State Education Association. I also see how critically important parent and community support is to our students' success. Support your public schools. Get involved. Form a business school partnership or become a school volunteer. Great schools and great communities work hand in hand.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
How was your drive to school?
Let me tell you, I had to get my iced coffee first. I just can't seem to put it down. My favorite rapper just announced a tour. My phone was buzzing like crazy. I'm so excited. I had to text all my friends right then to talk about it. Then someone started calling me and...
Let's try that again.
I turned my phone off right away. I never drive distracted.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza. The big one. All the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend.
If you can plan barbecues and weddings, you can plan to protect yourself from a natural disaster. Sign up for local alerts, prepare an emergency kit, and make a family communications plan. Get started at ready.gov/plan.
Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
I think it's just vapor. Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
There's really not even that much nicotine in them, right?
One vape pod has as much nicotine as one pack of cigarettes.
My kid
knows it's dangerous. 5.4 million American kids vape, and most think it's harmless. Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping. Visit talkaboutvaping.org. That's talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
Letting your children know you believe in them will go a long way toward making their dreams a reality. I'm Jenny Benson, president of the Nebraska State Education Association. It's important to celebrate learning. Focus on the positives, reinforce good effort and determination. Children need your encouragement and support. Our public schools want every student to succeed.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Hi, this is Pastor Tom. Did you know there's a place kids can seek out help when they're away from home and something goes wrong? They find themselves in a difficult spot or even a dangerous situation. Maybe another child is bullying them or a stranger is following them. Perhaps on a date and things just go bad. In Lincoln, here's where they can find help. It's called Safe Place. Safe Place is a national program for children taking place in thousands of cities across the United States. The People City Mission is sponsoring this program in our community and has set up a number of businesses, fire stations, schools, and nonprofits around the city to become safe locations where kids can seek out help. They just need to look for the big yellow sign that says Safe Place on it. Then go inside and ask for help. We will be quickly connected to them and ensure they make it back home or to whatever resources are needed. If you'd like to find out more about Safe Place and ways in which you can get involved, just go to pcmlincoln.org. Remember, when we all do a little, we change a lot.
As an 18-year-old, I let my mistakes kind of take over my life. I was 0.5 credits away from completing high school, and I didn't do it.
10 years later, at age 28, Jackie finished her high school diploma.
When I found out that I was pregnant, I know that I had to do something for myself if I wanted to make her a better person and provide a better life for her. My family never stopped pushing for me to be better because they knew what I could become and who I could become as a person. My support team is amazing. The educational director, my sister, and even my 7-year-old daughter has just been more than the support that I could ask for. I've been given an opportunity, and I'm just thankful for it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Now back to Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back in. We got a few minutes here. We're going to talk a little NFL football because there's four people.
We haven't even talked about how hostile this room has been off the air, but it's about to get more hostile right now with this conversation.
Okay, so there's 4 of us in the room. 2 of us, Harris and I, are Bears fans. We're done.
Oh,
our stress is over
again.
We're just looking at mock
As usual.
draft, all the mock drafts, trade rumors, right? That's what I probably looked that up like 10 times a day. Bears trade rumors, enter and look.
That's
mock
so dumb.
draft. I know it's dumb, but hey, when your team never makes the playoffs, they've won 4 playoff games in
Maybe
like 30
you should use
years.
that energy to find your big spoon.
You know what? I might channel that energy today. But the other 2 people in the room, Nicole is a Packers fan and Matt is a Cowboys fan. And there's a little game today at 3:30, Packers at Cowboys. And I'll tell you, in my opinion, all the pressure is on Dallas.
So, scale of 1 to 10, how nervous are you, Matt?
3.
Really?
Nice. Yeah.
Like, as in not nervous. You're
Not nervous at
3,
all.
not nervous.
The team that's won 1 playoff game in 25 years, he's just.
I'm
not
like
nervous at all.
I'm like an 8.
How many?
So
Dax won 2 and Romo won multiple.
Romo doesn't count.
Romo's the greatest.
Oh my gosh.
Romo won a playoff game?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Jeff, who are you rooting for today?
Oof.
He almost beat
well,
Green Bay, the
we're
death
not-
catch, which was
the death.
not-
that was Romo's the QB in that game.
That
We're
was
not
that was the
rooting
year Cowboys were going
for
to win the Super
Romo
Bowl.
ever. He's probably my
I
least
remember a game
favorite
against Seattle
football
when he
player.
was the extra point
Yep,
holder.
he
and
dropped
he muffed the extra
and he
point.
tried to run up the middle.
I
Yeah.
remember that. Yeah.
Yes.
And then there's the TO game. That's my quarterback. And he lost that one. And then all Dax.
And
Then
you're
they
still a
lost at
3?
home.
You're still a 3?
Yeah. Yeah. You got
I am
you
not.
got Jordan Love.
I am an
putting up
8. I know.
fantasy,
We
like,
don't deserve to be in this
just-
position whatsoever. So I'm like really have no pressure on me for this game.
Well,
I just am going to be annoyed if we lose to the Cowboys.
The kids were being really rude.
They
They're like,
were.
"Oh, I don't care who wins." And I'm just like, what if we were like, oh, we don't care if the Ravens win. The Ravens are our kid. That's who the kids like, are the Ravens. So if we were just like, oh, we're going to cheer for.
Yeah, I cheer for the
uh,
Ravens.
For the Texans. We don't care about the Ravens. That's kind of how they were acting about the Packers. And I was like,
rude.
Wait, you're rooting for the Packers?
Well,
He's not.
You can't as a Bears fan. That's
Yeah, I'm a little.
You can at
go
this
Cowboys.
point because now it's the
One of the rare
conference
times
or
for-
whatever.
I
It's
just
not-
think it's funny when Dallas loses
I do too.
because then it's just chaos.
And it's funnier if Green Bay wins.
Well, my wife's
Yes.
a Packers fan,
And
right,
even if
Harrison?
we shouldn't even be in this game. It's ridiculous that we are even in this game.
Happy
so.
wife.
As a
happy
Packers
life.
fan, like that's what's worse about you guys.
I
You guys
know.
aren't even. Oh, we don't even deserve to be here. I would die. Give anything to be there.
I'm
right
sorry, but it's true, and I'm sorry. I was ready for a really bad season, and it started off bad, and
Yeah,
then
it
here
did.
we go, climbing, getting my hopes up. So I'm not getting.
now. I
my
hope
hopes
you're
up.
right, and that love doesn't deserve to be there. But I'm
Not
I'm
yet.
worried. I'm
Not
worried
yet.
about it.
I feel like he doesn't deserve it yet.
So
But
Matt, you're
we'll
pretty
see.
confident.
Yep.
What about confidence to get to the Super Bowl?
Depends if San Francisco loses. If they were to get upset next week, and then Dallas could potentially host 3 home playoff games, which would be huge.
Now, haven't they lost their last couple home playoff games, like the Niners and?
Yeah, they did. Last 2 years, they actually lost the Niners. One home, one
Oh,
away.
okay.
They got the ball smashed down their throat and couldn't adjust. Mike McCarthy's just a whale of a human being that I don't enjoy.
And he's going up against his old
Yeah.
Really,
which
you
makes-
don't like him?
I can't stand Mike McCarthy.
Ooh, that's tough.
Harrison.
He
you
looks
got,
like he's just thinking about cheeseburgers on the sideline.
Harrison. We got all these people complaining about this and that, and
Being in the
through the number 2
playoffs.
seed. We don't like that. And here we are. We're just never
You're
in the
literally
playoffs.
like outside with like you've kind of wiped the grime off
You're
the
just-
window, and you're just like trying to look in. You're like,
There's the playoff teams. And what do they have to complain about? They're in.
I made my Super Bowls were with Aaron Rodgers when he was playing. Anyways, I won the Super Bowl if Aaron Rodgers lost. So therefore, I've won a lot more Super Bowls. That's how I, have to
I
break
would
it
be
down.
happy for the Bears if they were
See?
in the
Happy for the
same
Bears.
position as us.
Fields or Caleb Williams? What are we doing?
Caleb Williams does not want to
Caleb
play.
Williams
I think
is
they're
just-
going to
For
go
the
with
Bears.
Fields. I don't know why you keep Eberflus if you're not going to go with Fields again.
They
I would
need
think if you're getting a new quarterback, you're going to get a new coach.
But then they got to trade out of the 1 pick, right?
That's fine. They can trade out of the 1 pick. There's plenty of teams that want to go take Caleb Williams and give him half ownership of the franchise and let him dictate everything.
I feel
he
like this
wants
is
and-
the
Still
turning
grab Marvin
point.
Harrison.
Yeah, this is the turning point of these kids coming out of the transfer portal NIL world.
You're right, because
and coming into the NFL,
right.
it is not the same landscape.
Think about when Dak went into the NFL. He didn't have have millions in his account in a high-rise luxury apartment in LA overlooking the skyline.
Yeah.
Like,
no, he was getting in fights on spring break.
It's going to be a different landscape nowadays for these players coming in.
Yeah, motivate. Like, it's just, I don't know. It'll be interesting because Caleb Williams has who knows how many millions of dollars in the account.
Number one pick, but he doesn't want to go to the team that wants him. Like,
well, he's a Packers fan too, isn't he? Isn't Caleb Williams a Packers fan?
Oh yeah, but you're going to play for the NFL. You have to let that go.
He will.
Right. You have to let that go.
I'm not taking that into account.
And he's from the DC area. So there's, Washington, that might make sense for them. But in order to get him, they're going to have to trade up to the Bears because I like our GM. He's pretty
savvy.
He's pretty savvy.
He spends money.
Yeah. He's like, oh, I don't know if we're going to keep Fields or not. He'll drag it along till probably a week before the draft.
I think he's just going to continue to float and see what he can get.
Absolutely.
If
everyone's got a number.
Yeah,
and I think he's waiting to see how big does this number get.
Falcons keep being thrown out there with maybe Belichick going there,
and it's the whenever you draft quarterback, it's the unknown, right? When the Cowboys drafted Dak, he was a second or third round pick.
Third rounder.
It's like you just don't know. It's all a crapshoot.
Well, and it's right place, right time. Because that was a Romo injury.
Yes.
Who knows?
A Romo injury? What?
Well, listen.
He's the biggest baby.
I would also argue that because he came back week 17 that year, and and he was he led I think he was 10 for 10, 80 yards, touchdown, and he played one drive, week 17, and they let Dak do the playoffs, and they lost first round to the Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. But
we'll see.
It's going to be exciting.
I'm an 8. You're a 3, so this will be interesting.
You're an 8 you're not confident.
Yeah, I'm nervous.
And he's a 3.
I have very low expectations. Matt has very high expectations.
Well,
it sounds
he should because they're favored by quite a few points.
Let's say I don't like that. I don't like that.
Packers are just happy to be there.
I think they need to get to 28. If the Packers want to win, I think you need 28 points minimum.
Yeah, for sure. Dallas is going to score 35, 38, no problem.
I'd love to be happy to be somewhere.
I know. We just talked about that.
I know.
Let's go to break. Now we're circling back to conversation. So let's go to break.
Yep, we're going to go to break and we're going to dive more into nutrition.
No more football talk.
Yeah, we're done
for now. That may be the end.
We're done for now. All right, we'll be right back with Matt Dow from Nutrition Authority on the Fitness Fanatics 93.7 The Ticket.
What do you think of when you hear the chocolate season? Artisan chocolates? Of course. They have the best chocolates this side of the Atlantic. Friendly neighborhood coffee shop? Yup, they're that too. A nationally recognized top-tier brunch spot. Waffle weekends, baby. And the place to grab a gift for literally any occasion? Everybody loves chocolate. See for yourself at The Chocolate Season, 40th and Old Cheney, or order ahead online at thechocolateseason.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Okay, kids, Dad's gonna teach you how to dance. First, spread your feet apart. Then, pump your knee, nod your head, shake your hips, and bite your lip ever so slightly. Now, with one hand in the air, point at people with the other hand. I call that the rock star.
Dance like a dad. It's a great way to make a moment with your kids.
Now, make a face like it just smells something bad.
Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. At 4 a.m, my phone rang. They said, "I regret to inform you that your husband was wounded in action." Victor sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. I was doing school full time, and I was also then caring for Victor. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself. I just didn't want to forget that I also had goals and that I also had a life. What I did is I challenged Victor to meet me halfway. There are almost 6 million military and veteran caregivers across the nation. We have our own journey, and we can fulfill that journey at the same time that we are helping our loved one.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
My early Alzheimer's diagnosis was hard to take, but it gave my mom and me more time to plan together.
Talk to your family about seeing a doctor. Go to alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those round trips, which are perfect on your way there and perfect on your way back? Or those meetings with friends, surprise parties, camps, birthdays. The same way you plan for the important moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Get started at ready.gov/plan.
Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. At 4 a.m, my phone rang. They said, "I regret to inform you that your husband was wounded in action." Victor sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. I was doing school full-time, and I was also then caring for Victor. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself. I just didn't want to forget that I also had goals and that I also had a life. What I did is I challenged Victor to meet me halfway. There are almost 6 million military and veteran caregivers across the nation. We have our own journey, and we can fulfill that journey at the same time that we are helping our loved one.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Welcome into Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Now here are your hosts, Jeff and Nicole Essig.
All right, welcome back in Fitness Fanatics, January 14th. It's nice, chilly outside. I do want to give a shout out to our sponsors. I have failed to do that in the first segment. So, Becky, if you're listening, here we go.
Yep.
We are sponsored by Integrative Life Choices. ILC is hiring direct support professionals all over the state of Nebraska, full-time, part-time, days, evenings, and weekends. If you are interested, you can apply at ilc.net/careers. Direct support professionals work to ensure a meaningful life for the people they support. They work to support people in achieving their hopes and dreams. So big shout out to ILC. We appreciate all their support on the ticket and the Fitness Fanatics. We do have a YouTube comment from one of our members. BJ said, "Morning, guys. You kicked my butt this week. Got 3 classes in the gym and 3 classes virtually, and now ready to keep going tomorrow. Thanks for what you guys do. And I know I'm not special." So somebody who's listening
really sticks with everybody.
Yes,
I know.
Yes. So appreciate you listening, BJ. It's kudos to you and all of our members this week for getting their virtual classes done, because it's easy to just be like, gym's
snow day for everybody.
Snow day for everybody.
I do feel like this was probably one of the more challenging initial weeks.
Oh, absolutely.
But if you were like BJ and you were still able to overcome that and kind of get into that mindset of doing whatever it takes, doing the virtual. And if you're an in the gym member, a lot of times they will say the virtual is not the same. Well, no, because you signed up for group fitness for a reason, because you kind of need that group. But it's a bridge, the stepping stone to get you where you want to be. So it's not ideal, but it's definitely going to help build that momentum. So I really was impressed by how many of our 10-weekers did the virtual workouts this week instead of coming into the gym.
It almost brought me back to when we were closed, how
COVID.
Like there'd be so many messages like workout done, your your iPhone,
Apple Watch.
Watches, calories posted, my zones, like selfies. I mean, So that was really cool.
They were all kind of
that done.
bonded in that
Yes.
trauma of being stuck at home.
Yes. So and we all know you're never going to have a perfect 10 weeks. You're and anybody that started any type of new workout program, New Year's resolutions, going to the gym, eating right, every single day is not going to be perfect.
No.
You're going to have ups and downs, challenges. You're going to screw up and go eat out fast food on a Wednesday. And if you do that, that's fine. You just put it in the past and move on to the next day.
Like you, Matt, doing the gravel worlds, you trained all freaking summer, and then race day came and it was just abysmal.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know.
The plan was thrown out the window pretty instantly.
Right. But you still showed up, you know? You
Yep.
didn't just say, oh, well, I'll do it next time.
We're all dealing with it. That was
Yeah.
kind of my mentality.
Yeah. Yep. Which is cool. All right. So then let's talk a little bit more about the nutrition part. What were we going to talk about first? What did you say?
Just like the type of the meal plans that they do, and you know, the balance between carbs and proteins, and like
the basics.
Why because another reason we really like Matt and Nutrition Authority is our meal plans for our 10-week challengers, and then their meal plans for their customers are almost like spot on, in line, almost the same.
Our
Calories
approaches are very similar.
Percentages of carbs, proteins, fats. Anybody that we send to you, they're like, oh yeah, this is what I'm supposed to be doing, and it's almost exactly in line with what we do. But you're just more
nutrition accountability.
Yes,
yeah.
You're more in depth with the app and you know, precise of you need to have this to get your goals. Where we're more, we got the workout part.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to see you every day. Where you're more obviously focused on nutrition. So just kind of talk about your nutrition plans and philosophies, and when you're helping your customers.
Yeah. So what we utilize is more macro focused. We have an app called Life-Based Solutions. We're part of a group of a handful of stores that have kind of developed this app and utilize it. But what it does is allows us to, it's kind of a MyFitnessPal on steroids, where not only are we letting people log and track, but we set your specific macros for a day-to-day basis, but also meal by meal. You can see whether you're on pace to be over or under. But what's really cool with the whole accountability programming with us is every meal that somebody logs gets sent to us, and we're able to see on the back end. So part of our goal is we want to get people in on about every week, every 2-week basis to kind of track, and both on the InBody machine to kind of track progress, but we're able to walk through day by day and see how the logs are looking, see where we can improve at. Most people, you know, again, you talk about how, you know, sometimes it just kind of hits the fan. You have bad days, and until we encounter that, we don't always know. It's hard to have a plan B or a backup option until we know what the issue becomes. So being able to kind of look at those logs and track and chart. So our programming, generally, we kind of base it around an 8-week or a 60-week program, and then a lot of people go month to month after that. But the whole goal is creating, you know, a specific program for an individual based on their specific needs. It's fully customized. But creating that accountability so they're coming in on a week-to-week basis and keeping them motivated, because it's kind of joke. We throw people out there and we kind of reel them back in. And in good weeks, we want people to understand that they had a good week and see the progress. Sometimes people have bad weeks, and it's, you know, it's remotivation, refocus, regroup, set some different goals. And where it's been great with you guys, with your clients specifically, is that first 10 weeks, we just kind of enable and encourage them to do everything they're doing with you guys. And then after that, you know, over the last, you know, how many years, a lot of clients want to get a little bit more specific and more in depth after that, after the 10-week session. I think of Mark and AJ specifically here recently, where those guys have lost over 100 pounds. And somewhere along the way, they kind of run out of steam, or things that, you know, we have to transition things where they've done really, really good getting there. And now we have to go kind of a whole nother level with it as well, too. So,
yeah, I think that would be a good thing to talk about in our next segment. About how you worked with Mark and AJ. So if you've listened to the show before, and we've had Mark and AJ on, and we've talked about how they've did meal plans with this is with you. This was with you. So I think I'd like to deal with that a little bit more in the next segment too. But right now, keep it general, which, yes, that's fine. So the thing that we like to talk about, or that I like to help people focus on, not so much in our 10 weeks, because the 10 weeks is like a process. So it's like, just trust the process, do the program. But on the radio show, I talk about a lot for people who are just starting out, super overwhelmed with where should I start? Because then we tend to overshoot. People are like, okay, I'm going to work out for an hour every day, and I'm going to, you know, have all these unrealistic goals. And so what I like to encourage kind of people starting out on their own is to find the one thing that can make the biggest impact, and get good at that. and then kind of keep going. Like, what's the next thing I can do? So what would your advice be for somebody who's maybe not signed up for Farrell's or for some type of strict or regimented program, but they're wanting to improve their nutrition? What would be the one thing they should focus on that can make the biggest impact?
We tell people all the time, if you're going to focus on one thing out the gate and keep it simple, obviously there's the obvious things like cut out fast foods and things like that, but really the most important thing is going to be focused on your protein number. I would tell you that most Americans undereat protein and overconsume fat, and it's just kind of a recipe for disaster. So we really want to keep an eye on how much protein somebody's bringing in throughout the day. And if you don't want to track it out the gate, then it's just every 3 to 4 hours focus on getting some sort of good protein source, whether that's obviously anything that walks, flies, or swims: chicken, turkey, fish, tuna, but then the cottage cheeses, Greek yogurts, specifically low sugar Greek yogurts. And then you have options for eggs, egg whites, and possibly a protein shake or a protein bar. But ultimately, to start out, everybody can focus on protein every 3 to 4 hours, getting some form of protein to support lean muscle tissue. It will help metabolism, and also regulate blood sugars and cravings throughout the rest of the day. It's more satiating, it's more filling. You'll help calm cravings, and you'll feel a ton better.
That's a good one, because that's hard. I think that's one of the biggest things that we see too when people start tracking their food. You know, it's really easy to hit those carb numbers. Like, you can kind of not change what you eat and just focus on maybe your portion sizes and be able to make that fit into that carb number pretty easily. Like, yeah, you're maybe counting out or weighing out Triscuits or whatever, and you're like, wow, this is way less than I would have normally eaten if I was just sitting down to eat.
Bowl of cereal,
right?
I always,
Cereal, huge one, yeah. Like,
Well,
but
who eats just a bowl of cereal?
I do
You
now
gotta eat, like,
when I.
Well, when you're tracking,
Yeah,
yes,
that's
but in just
right.
in your normal
Yeah.
everyday life, it's like 3 or 4 bowls.
But like, you can still fit cereal into your
Yes,
meal plan
it can.
easily, but you
Yes.
just have to adjust the
balance
portion
is-
size.
Everybody's bowl size is different too.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the
And if you eat it with a smaller spoon, then
Yeah.
you get to take more bites. But I'm just kidding. But protein, I don't think I've ever seen someone that's accidentally eating enough protein.
No.
Like, if you just ask someone, what'd you eat yesterday? And they tell you what they ate, they didn't get enough protein if they're just,
Nope.
flying by the seat of their pants. So
Nope.
that is hard. So would you say, like, back in the day before we had, because we use the InBody also, and that will give us your BMR, and that's kind of how we track macros too. But back in the day with Farrell's, the most simple part of this Farrell's meal plan is to do a protein and a carb every couple hours. Like you said, that's mostly just so you're making sure you're consuming enough throughout the day. And so we usually say like a palm size for protein. Would that be a good
I think that's fair.
indicator for people if they're just starting from scratch?
If people want like an easy math, if they want to do it, like obviously when we utilize the InBody machine, when you guys utilize it with our customers, is we'll look at like lean body mass on what the InBody shows, and we'll use that as kind of a bare minimum marker. But for somebody, if they have an idea what their weight is, targeting anywhere from 0.6 to 0.8 grams per pound of body weight. People do it in kilograms, but I think 0.6 to 0.8 grams per pound of body weight is a very good rough estimate to kind of get started.
Yeah.
As far as doing that, but yeah, that's 3 to 4 ounces of protein, multiple times a day, and that size of your fist. Most like buying things, the tuna packets, things like that are generally in 3 to 4 ounce servings. Half, 3/4 cup cottage cheese. A lot of those Greek yogurts now are right at 20 grams of protein in the individual serving things, where it's easy to pre-portion that stuff out and grab and go.
Yeah. So like 20 to 30 grams of protein.
Well,
every
if you're
couple
200-pound person, it's 120 grams of protein
Okay.
at the 0.6.
Yeah.
And
And
then-
start on the
for
low
reference.
end if you're starting off.
Yes.
Don't start. We're not trying to all become Arnold Schwarzenegger in a week, start on the low end and then give yourself a little wiggle room. So then you can be like, okay, I can manage this now, because I'm sure you see this too. We see this with people too. A lot of times they drastically increase their protein intake and then they start to have some digestive issues. It gets a little sluggish. So start on the low end, and then know that you're trying to maybe work your way into the higher end. Or if you're seeing results at that 6.6, stick with it as long as you can until you kind of stop seeing those results, right? I mean, that's kind of the easy way to do it. And then once you get familiar with that, then maybe that's a great time to come in and talk to you. And, but I think it's important to know where you're coming from before you start, because we tend to think we have to reinvent the wheel, when the reality is you could probably do a lot of the same. Okay. You know what you need to cut out.
Sure.
That's common sense. Like, you're not going to be going through a drive-through multiple times a day, a week, or whatever, and still be able to hit those goals and balance everything else out. But get an idea of what is normal for you. And then when you come in, they come in to talk to you, then you have such a better frame of reference to be like, okay, this is what we should, focus on first.
We deal with people of all shapes and sizes too. We've seen it all. We've heard it all,
Mhm.
right? So I think sometimes people
So
get
your
nervous.
clients aren't special either.
Yeah,
They're
weird.
totally normal. I know. Yeah.
That's really what we've focused on. And with you guys, it's, I don't do any of the bodybuilding stuff anymore with clients and things like that. It's really focused on healthy lifestyles.
Mhm.
We're working with people that have families, jobs, that day-to-day stuff that, we all have to deal with. And it's like, hey, we can do this. I think sometimes, like you said, people want to make it too confusing or too overwhelming. And some people want to get to that point, but there's small steps that you can take to make big differences consistently.
Yeah. So talking about your LifeBase app. So let's just get an idea of a perfect world of what, if you're logging, for example, or anybody, just the average Jeff, that's what we call people, average Jeff.
Yep.
So if the average Jeff is logging on LifeBase, what would that look like as far as like real life breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks? What would you say would be like an ideal day?
Yeah.
Not talking about serving sizes or anything.
sure.
Just kind of keep it simple.
Breakfast, I always encourage, lunch and dinner is where we focus in a lot of meats. So breakfast, I always focused on like eggs or Greek yogurt, generally with maybe some oatmeal, a little bit of fruit, or toast and some peanut butter, something like that. Very simple.
Mhm.
Get a protein, pair up a good carb with it. Snacks, for years, one of my go-to snacks with clients has been like Triscuits and cottage cheese, using like cottage cheese as a dip, but like little low carb tortillas and wraps and making little things like that. Same sort of thing, utilizing fruit and cottage cheese or fruit and Greek yogurt, little cashews, almond mixes, but still trying to get some protein with it. So deli meats work really well for some of these mid-morning, mid-afternoon snacks because you just need a fridge. You don't have to worry about cooking it, heating it up.
Like a sandwich.
Yeah.
That's a lot of times for us. That would
Mhm.
be like before we head back into the gym at night. That's kind of our afternoon snack.
like a sandwich.
Yeah. Just have, or a wrap or whatever, just protein.
And if some people want to be safe, that Sara Lee makes that light where you can feel like you can have a whole sandwich and keep the calories and the carbs in check a little bit. Lunch and dinner is where people probably get the most versatile, but I mean, rice bowls, obviously, going out to eat like a Chipotle is fine, but we just got to be careful with portions. But rice bowls, I do a lot of sandwiches and wraps myself. It's just easy. I've found this thing at Costco. It's called Gary's Quick Steak.
Oh yeah, Jeff eats those every day.
It's like every morning right now I'll cook that up and I can throw it in a wrap. I can throw rice with it. It literally takes me, when I get done from the gym and I get home, it literally to make 3 servings of protein with those Gary Quick Steaks. I mean, it takes me literally 4 minutes.
It's so fast.
Yeah.
And like they come in packs of 3 servings. They're just like these bricks. It looks really
They
weird.
look like little cell phones.
Yeah. And then you cook it and it just magically becomes this like shredded chicken or beef. But
really good.
Costco sells the beef only. I wish they did the chicken.
I
though.
haven't actually seen the chicken.
Oh, they have it at like
Yeah.
Super Saver, Hy-Vee, but be prepared to spend like $8.
Well, little
Yeah.
birdie told me. So I have a client that maybe I shouldn't say. Well, at Super Saver, apparently at the end of the month is going to be running a crazy deal on Gary's Quick Steak down to like under $4.
They
pop.
do good deals.
So-
Yeah. Super Saver has the best deals on Gary's Quick Steaks. Anyway, the chicken is really good too. But there's like 23, 25 grams of protein in one of those.
Yeah.
But that gets you right where you need to be.
Yeah.
It's perfect. So we recommend that a
and you
lot
can
too.
utilize it again with anything. Throw it on bread. Throw it in a little rice bowl.
Make a quesadilla.
Salads.
Yeah.
Our daughter
Throw it
just
on
made
top of a
one.
salad with
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Our daughter just made steak and eggs for breakfast one day with it. Or I think she had it for lunch or dinner or whatever. But that's what she ended up making.
She
Like
just made a burrito on Friday.
she did.
Like her
She
own
couldn't get
burrito at home.
Chipotle. She was real bummed. She had been saving 2 weeks and this was going to be her, cheat meal or whatever, and then we had the snowstorm and she was so sad. And then she made her own burrito and it was delicious. She loved it. And she used that quick steak.
Can you talk about the sticker shock of when, because I know we have this when we're telling people how many calories they should be eating, and you tell somebody you should be eating 2,300 calories, and they're just like, because today's
That's usually men, but yeah.
Well,
yes.
even women are like 1,900
18 is
calories.
a lot for
So
women. Yeah.
overcoming the sticker shock, because the society today and a lot of the
How we were raised.
quick fix type things are low calorie, low carb. So how do you help somebody overcome the sticker shock when you tell them you need to be eating X amount of calories and they just think that's way too high. Like, what's the importance behind that?
I think there's a handful of importance. Most active adults, if they're working out 4 to 6 times a week, they're burning north of 2,000 calories a day. That's just between BMR. I mean, there's a handful of different things there, but ultimately they're going to be burning well north of 2,000 calories. And obviously, deficit wise for pounds of fat loss kind of varies in there. But the reality is if you go too restrictive with people, not only do you risk, bonking out things, hormone issues, injuries, but just even you can lead to the psychology of food and the binge overindulgent tendencies as well too, right? If somebody's constantly hungry all day, I mean, how long can they sustain that, right? When we look at the lifestyle perspective, do you want to be doing this for 8, 12, 16 weeks and get results? Or do you want to crash yourself out for 4 weeks and then, gain it right back? We see this over the years with the very restrictive dieting where people can lose 30 or 40 pounds quickly. But I routinely get, probably at least once a week, somebody reaches out to me that did a very restrictive program. I'm not going to call it names, but they lose 60, 80 pounds. I've seen people put double what they lost back on.
Oh yeah.
And the longer you're restrictive, you can actually cut your BMR as little as, I think it's Dr. Livongo out in, I think he's UCLA. But they were doing study on very caloric restrictive diets, and you can take your BMR, which is what your body's burning on a day-to-day basis, not doing anything at rest, as little as I think it's 8 to 12 weeks at very restricted, where let's say you go down to 600 or 800 calories, you can actually, it's 50 to 70%, you can cut your BMR down.
Yeah,
so
because you're losing weight, but you're losing muscle mass.
Yeah,
which is
but then your body gets very dependent on using 600 to 800 calories a day.
Right.
So if you try and go back to just eating 1,500 calories a day, your body's like, whoa, I don't know what's going on.
And you're going to feel really miserable for a while your body's readjusting too. Yeah.
I like to eat, right? I want to see my BMR go up.
Yes.
Like I want it to go up 100 calories.
And it's going to go up because you have to eat food for it to go up. You got to be able to build muscle. It's all connected.
And recovery.
But that is the thing with us too, because it's like, but we're telling you to eat more and you're fighting with us about it. I mean, obviously we want you to focus on quality, eating vegetables and fruits and getting that protein in, getting fiber in, getting
Well, we're in an instant gratification society.
Yeah.
Where we want instant results, where what we're trying to teach our members and you're trying to teach your clients are, let's don't go for a quick fix. Let's get some long-term sustainability, because if you're losing weight the healthy way by eating the amount of calories, building muscle, burning fat, when you ultimately have you fall off the wagon for a week, 2 weeks, a month, you're not going to gain all that back so fast.
You can get away with it a little bit.
It's going to take longer to undo everything that you already did because you're losing it the right way. And your BMR is going up. So when you, like I said, you fall off the wagon, you're not just going to gain 10 pounds instantly. It's going to take a while for you to undo everything that you did. So when you screw up, it's okay.
And that's where I think the InBody has become a cool tool for both us and you guys, where you can show people at these check-in scans that if muscle goes up and fat goes down and weight doesn't change, so be it. What body composition is going down. Too many people dictate just on what the scale's doing. And again, for years before the InBody, Farrell's would be a good example where before the InBody, if somebody did a 10-week session and they didn't lose weight, but that you can see in their before and after pictures, the dramatic change with it, but people get fixated on that number on the scale. So understanding that 20 pounds of weight loss, if you lose 15 pounds of muscle, well, what was the point?
Yeah.
But if you gain 10 pounds of muscle and drop 10 pounds of fat, that 20-pound body composition change looks so much better.
Yep.
Yes.
That's true.
You're going to look way different.
Yeah. And feel better and everything else.
All right. We're going to throw it to break. We'll be right back with Matt Dow, Nutrition Authority on 93.7 The Ticket, Fitness Fanatics.
This is how we do every day. We be grinding, and if you want to come and text us,
if you love them enough to turn off your music and pretend like their music is your music,
this is Mommy's jam,
then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Let's play it again.
Check today at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
the captain, Vershawn Jackson.
I used to be a weight guy. I used to love
You ain't
weight.
never been a weight guy. That's a lie.
Let me tell you something.
You've
I
never
was
been
in
a weight guy.
I was in a 300-pound club
No,
in
sir.
high school.
No,
Yes.
sir. Are you kidding
Yes.
me? That 315 pounds would have sent him through the. He'd have been 6 feet under trying to figure out how to get up out that hole.
That's how
you ain't never been nowhere near that platform to get up there for lifter of the year. You.
I don't want to be lifter of the year. I
So
want to be
how
the player of the year. You want to be a lifter of the year when you want to be the player of the year. Nobody care about weights.
I see the future in our public school classrooms every day. I'm Jenny Benson, president of the Nebraska State Education Association. I also see how critically important parent and community support is to our students' success. Support your public schools. Get involved. Form a business school partnership or become a school volunteer. Great schools and great communities work hand in hand.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Mario fue pintor más de 30 años. Cuando me dijo que se le estaban olvidando las cosas, fue difícil. Un día me dijeron que pintara el marco del lado por dentro y pinté el lado de afuera.
Yo le diría a la gente que le diga a su familia lo que está pasando con él.
Si algo se nota diferente, podría ser Alzheimer. Es momento de hablarlo. Visita alz.org/nuestras historias para saber más. Un mensaje de The Alzheimer's Association y The Ad Council.
Old School with DP and J.
DPGM, what are you going to do to Caleb Williams? What are you going to do? You going to draft him?
No.
You're not going to draft him?
No, I don't. Here's my thing. I don't want anybody going. I'm not going to bring poison into my program because that's what it would be. He's letting you know he's poison. He's venom. Why would I put poison in my own soup?
Maybe you think you're a mongoose. You can't.
I have zero.
You're a mongoose. You can take the cobra venom.
93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it twice a day.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it in the morning and before dinner.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it, and share it with my doctor. Nearly 1 in 2 U.S. adults have high blood pressure. That's why it's important to self-monitor your blood pressure in 4 easy-to-remember steps. It starts with a monitor.
Now that I know my blood pressure numbers, I talked with my doctor. We're getting those numbers down.
Get it, slip it, cuff it, check it. Talk to doctor now and share it.
Be next to talk to your doctor about your blood pressure numbers. Get down with your blood pressure. Self-monitoring is power. Learn more at manageyourbp.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, the American Heart Association, and the American Medical Association, in partnership with the Office of Minority Health and Health Resources and Services Administration.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. At 4 a.m, my phone rang. They said, "I regret to inform you that your husband was wounded in action." Victor sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. I was doing school full-time, and I was also then caring for Victor. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself. I just didn't want to forget that I also had goals and that I also had a life. What I did is I challenged Victor to meet me halfway. There are almost 6 million military and veteran caregivers across the nation. We have our own journey, and we can fulfill that journey at the same time that we are helping our loved one.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Now back to Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into the Fitness Fanatics. We're going to keep our awesome conversation about nutrition going with Matt Dow from Nutrition Authority. We all know nutrition, we tell our members, is about 70 to 80% of your results. So you can't outwork.
Was that on at all? Was anybody on?
I was
just
on.
Just
Jeff
for the
okay.
intro.
Just
Okay.
the only one that
Okay.
matters was on.
Okay. Well,
No,
I just wanted
kidding.
to make sure. But we say that as far as of like fitness and nutrition program, but
Mhm.
if you're just starting with nutrition, it can be 100% of your results. Like you don't have to start exercising right away. You
Right.
can start with your nutrition
yes.
and you can go a long way, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
I mean, you can go because I'm sure you have people who do nutrition plans who aren't gym rats.
No,
Right.
totally. Yeah, absolutely.
And so that I think that might be a great place to start is to start with the nutrition first. Make nutrition 100% of your results and do that as long as you can. And
Mhm.
then see what else is possible. Because that's on the fitness side of it. That's why I stuck with Farrell's for so long. That's why we do what we do now. Because, I started Farrell's 17 years ago almost. And it was because I was a stay-at-home mom and I just really wanted to get out of the house. I was 27 and I was winded going up the top of my stairs. And I'm just like, that cannot be good. I should not be winded going upstairs. I was never athletic. So that's kind of how I started Farrell's. And I was a stay-at-home mom and I wanted to do stuff with my friends. Did Farrell's for like 2 years. And then one day was like running on a treadmill while my kids were in
Swim
lessons.
Yeah.
And I ran for 2 miles straight. And I was like, wow, that's incredible. I never would have been able to do that. And then I kept doing Farrell's, but through that, I kept thinking, well, what else can I do? So I did a half marathon. I've done triathlons. I've done full marathons. So it's a snowball effect. And you can start that with nutrition.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So it
Yep.
just, that could be 100%.
What goes in your body is the number one thing that you can control for sure.
Yeah. So I wanted to kind of talk about, we talk about our 10-week session a lot, but as part of Farrell's, we have a maintenance program too, where you just continue to keep coming. And we do partner with you guys a lot. Our members do when they're in that national challenge, like Mark and AJ. So kind of walk us through maybe that year transformation of what it looks like and what things change within a year, because you definitely want to make adjustments as you're going, right?
Totally. I mean, obviously, in those guys' case, they each lost north of 100 pounds over the whole course of it. And obviously, when you lose that much body composition, well, I mean, just that much in general as far as weight, the amount of calories you're burning 100 pounds heavier than now is dramatically different. And then for both those guys too, the trick is that this is, I have a couple clients right now that are really focused on muscle building, and both are people that have lost a lot of weight. The trick is that calories in, calories out, and focusing on protein and doing workout. If you follow that, I don't want to say it's easy to lose fat and lose weight, but it's much easier than when you get down to the bottom and now you have to start going the other way and building muscle.
Yeah.
Building muscle is it's much more hard than it is to lose fat, where you can't just. So I love AJ, and AJ is very good with his numbers and tracking and that sort of stuff over the course of it. And his goal then we get down is like, hey, I've lost, again, nearly 100 pounds. We need to start building muscle. And it doesn't work the same as AJ's very math oriented, very good with that, where his numbers, he can understands that, hey, as I get in a deficit and I follow these numbers, I'm losing fat. Now to go the other way, I just add back calories in and it's going to magically be muscle. And it's not the case.
Yeah, we talked about that when he was on the show. He had to cut out the Skittles and
we had to really focus on that's
The
where
Reese's
Right.
Pieces.
Yeah.
that's where
whatever he was eating.
the training becomes more nuanced.
Yeah.
Obviously, the sugar intake becomes very nuanced.
But he didn't have to take that away right
No,
away.
no.
He saw great results just following the framework.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
then you kind of get to where you're like, okay, now what else can I do?
Exactly.
And that's where you guys really helped them.
Yeah.
And I think, what did Mark say at the end? How many calories was he consuming?
Like
I think
3,500.
almost,
it was-
over
it was-
3,000.
I think on low days, I think we had him just under 3, and we had some high days over that. And he was
the
still
smallest
losing.
version
And
of
he
himself.
was still losing. We were actually trying to start going the other way. And
Yeah.
as you continue to increase calories, he's losing weight. It's like,
Right.
holy cow.
But that also puts into perspective how much nutrition plays a role in optimizing how your body works.
Yep.
And so I think he was at a point where his body was really efficient and he was eating healthy and working really hard. Katie, our daughter, was just working out yesterday in class with Mark, and she had mentioned that she was like, man, I mean, Mark just never stops. I don't understand. He never looks like he's tired. He never looks like he's,
He's a machine.
yeah, he doesn't look like he's winded. She's like, he works the whole time. And, she has to take a break, which is fine, but it's just like, but that's because he had put himself into the optimal health position, because he took that time to learn about eating, fueling your body. eating enough calories, and he didn't do it on 1,200, 1,500 calories.
No, and the other trick was it wasn't like we drastically increased it as well too. You have to kind of, reverse diet out of it and continue to incorporate more things and see how the body responds and adjust from there.
And that's why working with you is good, because you're there to help people through those highs and lows. We were kind of talking about that off break or on break, about the psychology of fitness and health and nutrition and how it can really mess with your head. We see this, you see this. You talked about how like people will come in and one week they'll be disappointed that they only lost 2 pounds. But their body fat percentage didn't change. And then the next week they'll come back and their body fat's improved, but they didn't lose weight and they're still upset. And that's, again, if that's how you are with the scale, that does not make you special. That's totally normal. That's how our brain is wired.
Mm-hmm.
We're always going to be the hardest on ourselves than we are on anyone else. So I think that it's just coming to see someone that's trusting the process and telling you, I've seen this before. It's fine. This is what's supposed to happen at this part of the process.
And the journey itself too, right? Where people automatically have one good week and they're not always unrealistic with expectations, but they have one good week. And if the numbers don't show right in the InBody, and it's really about building up that time frame. I always, just give the dumb analogy of a snowball rolling downhill, but you have to build up momentum. If you have 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks of consistency behind you, the results are going to be so much more efficient than having a good week and then having 2 bad weeks and then having, it's just, you're never getting that momentum and moving forward.
And if you're coming from where you've done a complete 180 on your nutrition, it takes our bodies a long time. So we talk a lot about macronutrients, proteins, carbs, and fats, but I'm sure too, just with your nutrition background and yourself and your health issues, the importance of that micronutrient profile too. We want to make sure you're getting there's like vitamins and minerals and stuff in the food that you're eating. And if you're not eating healthy, if you're not eating fruits, vegetables, fiber, lean protein, stuff like that, it's going to take your body a while to like change those hormone levels and, all those optimizations. It takes a while.
Yeah. It's the people that, especially this time of year, you might have somebody that hasn't worked out in 5 years and they're 20 or 30 pounds heavier than they were 5 years ago. Well, you didn't put on the 20 or 30 pounds in just 6 months. You're not going to take it off in 6 months. You just, buy into the lifestyle and keep consistent and feel good about yourself.
We did have a comment. Kelsey Halverson commented, and she just said, "Hi, Matt." And so
it's been a while since I've seen Kelsey.
Yeah. So she's doing ferals again.
Sweet.
So she said, "See you Saturday," because you guys are going to be coming out this next Saturday for a nutrition, for a sampling. So she said it was great hearing your nutrition advice again.
Oh, well, good
which
to hear
is
from you,
also
Kelsey.
nice because it's the same nutrition advice you've probably been giving for the last 20 years. Yeah, which is good. You're not going to come in. Kelsey hasn't talked to you for a while. She's going to talk to you this weekend potentially, and you're going to tell her the exact same thing that you said last time you talked to her, which I think is important when that's who you're seeking to help you with that.
Not only that, but it's this day and age, it's the social media worlds where everybody wants a new way to lose weight and to lose fat. And you can't fight the laws of physics with calories in, calories out. You can't fight the importance of protein. And the tried and true works, right?
It does.
That's why you guys have been in business for 20 years and Farrell's has been in business for 20 years and it hasn't really changed.
I know.
It's all the same principles.
Jeff and I were just talking about this last week in the start of the new program. Farrell's as a program has been around for 22 years. And I mean, first of all, I don't know how many fitness programs have been around for 22 years. That's a long time for a fitness program to be around. And then on top of that, the basics of our program has not changed in the 22 years. Like we've definitely made improvements to our strength training and kind of more of a, programming approach to our strength training. But I mean, the classes that I'm teaching for kickboxing are very similar to the classes I taught
15 years ago.
Right, when I started 15 years ago. What we're telling people about nutrition, exactly what we were telling people 22 years ago. And so I think that's very rare in the health and fitness kind of landscape where you're getting that consistent message because it works. Like we know it works. What you're saying works.
It's fun to be proactive and there's always some new research that comes out. There's new stuff that comes out, but
and try, I mean, it's fine. I, have had conversations with people and they're like, I've been reading about this and I kind of want to try this. I'm like, that's fine. I don't say that about everything, but certain things, intermittent fasting, for example, like if you have a good handle on your nutrition and you want to try it and see, try it and see. But I'm going to tell you what to look out for, what to be careful of. Make sure you're not binge eating, and your energy levels are staying sustained and you're consistent. With everything. So it's okay to experiment with yourself, but don't always just think what I'm doing isn't working. I need to do the next best thing.
I think it's prioritizing what you need to be focused on. There's a lot of riffraff out there with making dramatic changes or focusing on something that's not the issue, right? We had some customers come in the other day that were asking about a specific vitamin, and they wanted to avoid something in a certain vitamin as they go outside and smoke cigarettes.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yep.
let's think about that. What's the priority? Is the vitamin that you're putting in your body, or maybe you should focus on quitting smoking?
Right.
Right.
We kind of stopped talking about how bad cigarettes are because we all know how bad cigarettes are.
But it's just the funniness with the priority of health, where it's like, or the person that wants to do intermittent fasting, but then on Saturday and Sunday, they're they're eating out of their fasting window to go out and drink alcohol and do things like that. And it's like, well, what's your priority here?
That's so true. Yeah. All right. Well, we should probably go to break.
Well, before we get to the last segment,
okay.
I'll say, so if somebody wants to what's the easiest way to get in touch with you if they're interested in starting a meal plan with Nutrition Authority? How can they find you guys? Or just coming
in and familiarizing with the store.
Pop in. We got 2 stores in town, one at 27th and Pine Lake, right in front of Sid Dillon there. And then 84th and Adams Street there. I myself spend majority of the time at the South store, 402-421-4629. But I'm pretty easy. I spend 56 hours a week there. So,
and just Facebook Nutrition Authority.
Yeah.
You can
Nutrition Authority on Facebook and Instagram, and we try and make some fun content.
Yeah,
and I'll tell you guys about like pricing and costs. I sat down with a nutritionist a while back. I won't say where, but and it was like, okay, because we were thinking about partnering with them. This was in the Des Moines area.
I was like, what are you talking about?
Well, no, this was like 6-7 years ago.
Okay.
And I'm like, so what can I tell our members, like the cost of this? And it's literally like $100 and some just to sit down for an hour.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so some of the pricing of this stuff is just outrageous, which is what I like about what you guys and it's Farrell's.
It's because you've streamlined the process. That's a big part of it.
People structured. Yes, they're not getting nickel and dimed every time they come in.
Every time they come in to talk to you, they're not having to pay a bill for $100 for 30 minutes.
Yep. We kind of streamline it up front.
So, yes.
And then even on our supplements, we're very attuned to, because obviously we carry stuff that's found online. We're very attuned to where the internet prices are. We always match or beat internet prices every single day, most times without asking, because we just know where everything's at, and we want people coming back in. So our goal is to get people the best quality, whether it's service, product, etc. But our meal planning is we think is very affordable and very in tune. And then we're going to beat everybody's prices on supplements too.
All right. Well, thank you. We'll be right back. Finish up with Matt Dow, Nutrition Authority on 93.7 The Ticket, Fitness Fanatics.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old-fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
My early Alzheimer's diagnosis was hard to take, but it gave my mom and me more time to plan together.
Talk to your family about seeing a doctor. Go to alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
If Ewers throws that ball to the front pylon, Texas might have tied that game up and had a chance to win it.
That moment right there, it's one of those moments that every young man dreams about. There's 2 outcomes in that moment. You're a gamer or you tense up.
You're a gamer, you're a goner.
Or you're a goner.
Weekdays from 2 to 4 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Get it, slip it, cuff it, check it. Talk to doctor now and share it.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it twice a day.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it in the morning and before dinner.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it, and share it with my doctor. Nearly 1 in 2 U.S. adults have high blood pressure. That's why it's important to self-monitor your blood pressure in 4 easy-to-remember steps. It starts with a monitor.
Now that I know my blood pressure numbers, I talked with my doctor. We're getting those numbers down.
Get it, slip it, cuff it, check it. Talk to doctor now and share it.
Be next to talk to your doctor about your blood pressure numbers. Get down with your blood pressure. Self-monitoring is power. Learn more at manageyourbp.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, the American Heart Association, and the American Medical Association. In partnership with the Office of Minority Health and Health Resources and Services Administration.
Dance like a dad. It's a great way to make a moment with your kids.
First, I hold my hands out like they're on a steering wheel. Then I look over my shoulder. Next, I put it in reverse.
Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Hey, it's me, your cell phone. We need to talk about something serious. I know you love me. I know you like using me wherever you are, but I feel like this isn't working out when you're driving. I know you may think that it's possible to focus both on me and the road, but I just don't feel the same way. I think we should spend time away from each other when you're driving. It's for the best.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza. The big one. All the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend.
The Mill Coffee and Tea inside our 93.7 The Ticket studio is now open 7 days a week. From 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. on weekdays and 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturday and Sundays, you can enjoy burritos, cinnamon rolls, fresh brewed coffee, delicious tea, or even their coffee and cream ale. Sold exclusively at the Ticket Mill location. Open 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. on weekdays and 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. on the weekends. Right here at 1040 O Street in downtown Lincoln.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now in our new time. We're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
Now back to Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back in here. I want to do a little correlation comparison. I think sometimes
we've transitioned out of nutrition. This is all college football.
This is going to be like a kind of a comparison. So
okay.
When somebody starts with us at Farrell's or somebody starts a meal plan with Matt, they start with the expectations that they are an Alabama fan, right? Now, Alabama has a new coach. And the Alabama fans, we have a big audience in Tuscaloosa. I didn't know if you knew this, Matt, but people are listening all over the state of Alabama to our show. So we're going to touch a chord with them.
No, they're not.
I heard an Alabama fan call into a national show the other day, and he's asking him, what are your expectations for Kalen DeBoer for the next 10 years? And he's just, what we expect, right? To be to win 3 or 4 national titles and be in the championship game every other year. And the guy is like,
for 10 years.
For 10 years.
Yeah.
So what's a successful 10-year period? And so he just kind of reminded me of what we used to be.
Not used to. We still are.
Well, no, I think we're getting a little better after 25 years of nothing happening. But so people have these Alabama fans are just, it's going to be nice to watch because we were there. And I feel like if I could talk to an Alabama fan, it's like, it's not going to be that way. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So
unrealistic expectations.
Yes.
Similar to starting a fitness or nutrition plan.
Yes. Yeah. Like you
could still be successful.
Right.
But that's not your measure of success.
Like Nick Saban won 6 national titles in 14 years at Bama.
Yeah.
Right. That's never going to happen.
Which is
again,
insane.
Especially now with the college football playoff being at 12 teams. Like you think about I'm almost not expecting Nebraska to ever win a championship again. I mean, that maybe they will, but look at how difficult it's going to be really for any team in the country, not just Nebraska or Georgia, but it's like if you're Nebraska, let's say, and you fight and claw your way to 10 wins, not next year, but maybe 3 years from now. And then you get to the Big Ten championship game, right? Now you're facing Ohio State or Michigan. Okay, then you go into a playoff and you got to win 4 games, right? You're facing, I mean, it just sounds like impossible to do.
Consistently.
Right.
For what
are your
right?
thoughts on that?
As far as are we
Just,
in regards to
yeah.
No, we're talking about football. Don't get Jeff wrong.
Okay.
We're
Okay.
talking about football. We've transitioned.
Nebraska's never going to win a national title again.
Oh, you didn't say never.
I mean, let's be
You
real.
really had to put that
I'm
in
not
there.
expecting, because it's going to be so tough.
The parity is going to be very crazy.
But isn't this what we wanted as football fans?
For Nebraska to get to a playoff, we need about 32 teams.
Yeah.
So the more the better for me.
No,
Anyway.
not the more the
but
better.
Seriously though, it's going to be, think about how tough it is to win a Super Bowl. Like
True.
there's only 3 or 4 quarterbacks right now in the NFL that have won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That's it. And Joe Flacco was one of them.
And you really have a really short window for that.
It's just,
And that's NFL.
And that's expecting that everything else go. I mean, look at Caleb Williams this year, right? USC's defense was let him down every game.
Yes. So I think,
so even if you're there,
expectations.
You're not going to have those perfect storms anymore like we'd had.
No team's going to win.
But I guess
6
it's
titles
it's
in
true
12
for
years.
everybody though, right?
It is, yeah. But now the Bama fans are coming off just. I mean, it's been
a dynasty.
It's been 3 years since they won a title. They're just panicking.
They shouldn't have been in it this year, but
and they lost, so that was good. But yeah, it's just
or it was worse.
It's just one of those things of that. It was just we expect this, expect that, and just like it's like people starting with us. Well, I expect to lose 30 pounds in 10 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we could give you and you're probably the same way. I can give you a meal plan.
I'll tell you. Yeah.
I'll tell you exactly what to eat if you want to lose 30 pounds in 10 weeks.
They still have to do
Are
it.
you willing to do it?
Yep.
And sometimes you're not, and that's okay too. It's just
Yes.
managing that expectation.
Yes.
Like it's okay if weight loss isn't your end all be all.
Mhm.
You know, honestly, I wish it wasn't. I wish people would, their goal is to feel better and feel stronger. And, weight loss is a byproduct of that. Like be realistic. Like that's okay if
Yeah.
you don't want that to be your goal, but also don't in the back of your mind think you're going to fail if you don't hit that goal. which
Right.
Probably shouldn't have been your goal to start.
The best clients, I have dozens and dozens of clients that have come in with like not working out, not being into it at all, and have fully caught the workout bug, the nutrition bug, and it's been really fun to watch. Those are the best people to work with from a standpoint of, they're not timid to put in the work, and then when you see them, I have several clients that didn't work out ever before working with me, and then now to see them being a gym rat is just fantastic.
And we will transition back to nutrition, because once you get to that point where you are more focused on what your body can do. I know for myself, just in the last 3 years, having an injury and, I know we have a lot of male listeners, but as a female in my 40s and perimenopause coming, I am on the heavier end of where I would like to be weight wise, but I'm not freaking out about that because I can still rely on my performance to measure my success. So it's that's going to come around eventually. I just need to be patient with my body. I'm not going to do anything drastic just to see a number on the scale, because I know if I do that, then I'm not going to feel strong and feel my best in my workouts. And to me, that's my goal, is to feel better. The rest will happen when it does, but sometimes you just have to be patient with yourself.
You wouldn't have that metric or that feeling right when you start, right?
Never.
So
No.
encouraging people to, enjoy enjoy the process.
Yep. And then I can look back on times where I was in optimal health and everything was clicking, and, and I can look back at that and not be upset about that. I can just be like, well, I've done that before, so I know I can do it again. I'm doing the exact same things I was doing then. Just my body is in a different place right now. So I don't want to sacrifice the performance. I want to be able to keep that going. So then, it'll all fall in place eventually.
Fitness and nutrition is hard. It is extremely hard.
And it's something that you have to do for the rest of your life.
It only gets harder and harder.
And it's going to take longer than you want it to.
Yes. So
period.
The moral of the story is be patient,
Trust the process.
If you fall off, that's okay. Jump back on and let's get after it because we have to do it for
And
the
we're
rest
all
of our
here
life.
to help.
That's right. We're all here to help. Barrels, Max Muscle, our Nutrition Authority. We're all here. So we
Okay.
appreciate you guys
Thanks,
listening.
Matt.
Thanks, Matt, for coming in.
Thank you guys for having
Again,
me.
nutritionauthority.com if you want to find out and get in touch with Matt. We'll see you next week.
MyNutritionAuthority.com.
MyNutritionAuthority.com.
Good.
We'll see you next week on the Fitness Fanatics.